In my video, The Big Retirements That Nobody's Talking About, I discussed the end of the movie Brett era, what it was, when it happened, and why it's so significant today. In case you got scared from that episode, don't be, because Hollywood has plenty of current and potential talent up its sleeve to keep a few auteurs running. For this list, I'm focusing on American talent that's already more or less in the biz, so don't expect me to talk about people like Chan-wook Park or Wong Kar-wai, because they're obviously not American, and they still have a lot of fight left in them. I also won't include Quentin Tarantino on the list because he said he would retire at age 60, being only around the bend in 2022. So with that in mind. Okay, number 1, James Cameron. Even though he's at the top of the list, Cameron seems unstoppable. As one of the richest living filmmakers playing Avatar 2 and 3, sequel's the highest grossing movie of all time, of course. Anything short of a freak accident, maybe involving submarines, because he does that, probably won't stop him. Even though many have argued that the man has gone sequel crazy, it's safe to say that he'll probably make at least one original film before his retirement. Number 2, Lars von Trier. I struggle to put von Trier on the list because he isn't exactly American, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but ever since he returned to Cannes to showcase the house that Jack built, and the fact that he employs so many American actors means he'll probably be a force to reckon with in the near future, and hopefully he won't make any of those horrible nymphomaniac movies anymore. Number 3, Coen brothers. Many don't know it, but the Coen brothers are now, wait for it, 64 and 61 respectively, from oldest to the youngest, as of the writing of this video. That can't be expected since their very first movie was 1984's Blood Simple. And while I still don't seem to understand what their films are saying, to say outside of the general sense of postmodernism and maybe a little bit of nihilism, their films have always entertained me, and now that they're modernized with the decision to use Netflix as a showcase tool and to shoot on digital, they better secure the existence in the age of Marvel and DC, in my opinion. Number 4, Tim Burton. Not much to say about him. I consider his last great film to be Sweeney Todd, which is not saying a lot. Honestly, I'm not interested in Dumbo so much. Dumbo, that is the movie that's coming out this year. We probably won't see it. I probably won't see it because I don't have my movie pass. If I did, I'd probably catch it. But again, it's not really an interesting movie to me. Maybe I'll see it on DVD with my family. We don't know. I'd love to see him do something more traditional, art house and original. But seeing that he's never really done this in his career is kind of a sign that it's not going to happen. Number 5, Denis Villeneuve. Anyway, I'm going to butcher that from now on. To many, Villeneuve is the new Nolan, and perhaps not since John Carpenter has been so much Cinemax sci-fi from one man. Denis had a knack for pulling off movies that are both critically acclaimed and mostly financially successful, and really if he ends up pulling off Dune, like he did with Arrival, I don't think any power in the verse can stop him. Which brings us to number 6, Joss Whedon. A self-described workaholic, Whedon can pretty much go anywhere with his career at this point, even opting to be a writer for the rest of his career, even though we know him better not to do that. In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't done anything by now at this point with either the Marvel or the DC universe. He's laid pretty low in the past couple of months. It's unclear if he'd still be involved with Marvel and DC, with both universes starting to wind down, so we'll just have to wait and see anyway. Number 8, Robert Rodriguez. Honestly, Rodriguez dropped off the map until recently with his directing of Alita Battle Angel, which was actually assigned to him by James Cameron. But unlike Villeneuve, however, if Alita fails to make good box office money, he probably won't wind up with the face of the earth, since he can make movies so cheaply, as his early filmography indicates. There's always the possibility he won't want to do movies at any level if Alita Battle Angel kind of collapses, because it's just been his most pricey project. But we'll see. Number 9, Jonathan Glazer. Glazer, like Shane Carruth, is probably one of those rare filmmakers who takes forever to have a movie come out, but when he does, much of the art house and cult film world raves. As of 2018, Glazer announced he would be working on a film about the Holocaust. For those who don't know, this could be seen as more of a populist move, since Holocaust movies usually get sprinkled with May awards, which many from Hollywood historically. However, since Glazer himself is of Jewish descent and his films can be described as anything but crowd pleasers, it's clear that Glazer has different motives. And for what I understand, it's more about the bystanders of the Holocaust in Poland rather than the victims themselves, like Schindler's List. Number 10, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's films have never been all that successful, due mostly to their unashamed artistic nature. But it's easy to say he's set for life at this point, since a multi-billionaire has funded many of his films, whose name is Steve M. Rales, who I don't really know much about. He's into manufacturing, but good for him. Mr. Anderson has nothing to worry about. Number 11, Richard Linklater. Linklater has been making movies since 1988, but it can be easily argued Boyhood put him on the map. Linklater has never shied away from controversy, experimentation, the form of rotoscoping for 2 of his movies, Scanner Darkly and Waking Life, all while keeping things relatively cheap. He has seemed to climb the ranks, however, and it won't be surprised if he had more in store. Apparently he has some kind of moon landing movie working on. I'd love to see that. Number 12, Paul Thomas Anderson. I've never cared much for Anderson's films, honestly. Seeing there are many of them, and they're so dark and mature anyway, and they just don't look like my thing. Or he's been on a decent track record, and the fact that movies as recent as 1999's Magnolia have been considered classics for a while probably indicate he'll have a market for his work, even if it's a niche art house work and he kind of gets expelled from Hollywood. Number 13, David Fincher. Fincher's taken an interesting turn as of late. Despite Gone Girl being a box office hit and being nominated for so many awards, nothing's really came from Fincher for almost 5 years, which is the longest period he's ever gone without making a movie. He might be tired of movies, especially since the only thing that's been on his radar with an adaptation, the very serious Utopia for HBO. Number 14, Steven Soderbergh. Soderbergh has laid low recently, so I'd make an entire film just on $1.5 million and an iPhone 7 Plus. It's called Unsane. I don't really care for it, but I think it's pretty impressive in its own right. Since the last film, Logan Lucky, was fairly successful, we can probably chalk up the decision to shoot such a simple film as just an artistic choice. Number 15, Christopher Nolan. Nolan has yet to see a flop of any proportion and seems to be going strong with an unnamed movie that's been announced to release in just 2020 next year. At this point, I don't have much to say, as I can see Nolan making movies well into 20 years into the future. Number 16, Sofia Coppola. Unfortunately, Sophia has been more of a one-hit wonder that hit being lost in translation. Like her father Francis, Sophia's glory days have been mostly in the past, but being under 50 and seeing no signs of stopping, it seems to say Coppola will see another good one probably before her luck runs out or she retires. Number 17, Shane Carruth. Having come from nowhere and using not much more than ingenuity and grit, Carruth has seen 2 masterpieces of film come from him, but not much after that. After his film Autopia failed to see production, and he tried to make a movie called The Modern Ocean, which might also be canceled at this point, sounds like. I hope that's not the case. Honestly, it's possible we might not see anything from the Carruth for a long time, usually considering the fact that between his first film and his second film, Primer and Upstream Color, there was about 9 years. I won't be surprised if it was another, it wasn't until 2022 we saw another movie from him. Number 18, the Wachowski siblings. I hope that's okay to say. Anyway, the Wachowskis might just be in the most unique position you can be as a filmmaker because they came off of a successful project, Sense8, which, well, it was mostly successful. It got canceled or concluded last year, but it also got a major flop, which was Jupiter Ascending, which was a train wreck on fire going down a hill. But they also have Cloud Atlas, which was moderate success, and they got a lot of independent funders from that, so they definitely have places to get their money from. And honestly, Cloud Atlas was one of the highest budgeted independent movie until Valor and a Thousand Planets came out. So they have money to work with. It's just they haven't really shown themselves since Jupiter Ascending in the movie biz, so I'm a bit concerned with that, but we'll have to see. Number 19, Gareth Edwards. Since he quit the set of Godzilla, King of Monsters, Edwards hasn't been up to much. He's got some franchise films under his belt, sure, but it's disputed about how much of his work ended up in the final version of certain films like Broke One. But at 43, he's the youngest on the list and has great potential that I hope he'll use. So it turns out Hollywood isn't doomed after all. With unknowns and newcomers such as Edwards, Carruth, and Rodriguez, this is proof enough for me that anyone can make a movie, and any group of people with cameras and imagination can place even the best of the movie brats. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Mr. Fiction 1.